Welcome to a deep dive.
Hello. Yes, today we're looking at a really interesting profile.
It's from the Off the Cuff magazine podcast, highlighted by Quest Excel Multimedia, and it focuses on Dr. Lisette Lors.
That's right. She was recently honored, wasn't she, at a Suffolk County International Women's Day event.
Exactly. So our goal here is to, unpack this profile, really understand her achievements.
Yeah, beyond just the surface, we want to get into her work as an educator, community leader, and pull out the key insights for you.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The profile mentions her roots, Hempstead High School, right here on Long Island.
A local start. And then her academic journey is, well, pretty impressive.
Tell us about that. NYU first.
Yes, NYU for her bachelor's in social studies education. That was back in 2003. Then Hofstra University for a master's in foundations of education in 2005.
Okay.
And she didn't stop there. Went on to get her doctorate in educational leadership from St. John's University in 2018.
Wow. And even after the doctorate, she kept going.
Right. She added a micro-credential in diversity, equity, and inclusion from Stony Brook just recently, in 2022.
That's quite a foundation. Now, the author of this piece, Dr. Junaita Cepea Winfield, she brings her own interesting background, right?
She does. The profile notes she's an administrator, a mentor, and a scholar focused on sustainable leadership.
Sustainable leadership. That feels relevant when looking at someone's career impact.
Definitely. It suggests a focus on, lasting change and strong foundations. And Dr. Winfield is also deeply involved in the community.
Through Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the Links Incorporated.
Yes, and her work with young people here on Long Island. So she's writing from a place of really understanding the context, the educational landscape.
Okay, so building on that education, Dr. Lors' career, where did she gain leadership experience before her current role?
Well, the article mentions she served as assistant principal and principal at Eastern Suffolk BOCs.
BOCs, right. So experience with career and technical education, too.
Exactly. And support services across districts. Plus, she was also at Huntington High School. Shows a breadth of experience.
Different settings, different challenges, I imagine.
No doubt.
Now, there's one part of the profile that really jumped out at me. During the pandemic.
The home visits.
Yes, 256 home visits to support students during COVID. That number is, well, it's staggering.
It really is. And it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About her priorities.
What does that tell you? I mean, during such an incredibly tough time.
Well, it shows an intense focus on the student, going way beyond the school building. It's about overcoming huge barriers in the place. The pandemic itself, logistics, just to connect with students.
Especially the vulnerable ones, perhaps.
Precisely. Making sure they weren't falling through the cracks when everything was so disrupted. It's about supporting the whole child, meeting them where they are, literally.
That's a powerful image of dedication.
It really is a concrete example of commitment.
And how does that kind of really personal, proactive support connect to what she's doing now in her current role?
That's a great question. It seems like that same energy flows into her work now as principal at Bayshore Middle School. The profile notes she works closely with her administrative team there.
Okay, Bayshore Middle School. And the article mentions specific initiatives.
It does. Things like expanding innovative academic programs, making learning engaging, presumably.
And some other things, too, like a news crew.
Yeah, the launch of the BSMS News Crew, which sounds exciting. Getting kids involved in media communication.
And bringing back something traditional, too.
Right, the revival of the spelling bee. So a mix of innovation and beloved traditions.
It suggests she's trying to build a vibrant school culture.
Absolutely. Touching on different aspects of student life, academics, skills, community spirit.
And her work isn't just inside the school, is it? The profile talks about partnerships.
That's a key point. It mentions significant partnerships she's developed with the Suffolk County Police Department.
Okay.
And also with Northwell Health.
So, law enforcement and healthcare, why those kinds of connections?
The article frames it as fostering a supportive community, prioritizing student well-being, both in and out of class. It's about building a network.
Recognizing that students face challenges outside school.
Exactly. And that addressing those challenges often takes a village approach.
Yeah.
A community effort. It connects back to that holistic support we saw with the home visits.
Right, it's a consistent theme. And all this work, this dedication, it's been noticed. There's a list of awards mentioned.
Oh, definitely. The recognition seems significant. At that International Women's Day event we mentioned,
yes,
she received a citation from the Suffolk County Police Department. for dedication, service, contributions.
From one of her community partners. Interesting.
And also a proclamation from Suffolk County legislator Rebecca Sonnen at the same event.
Okay, so recognition from law enforcement and local government?
And it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
She also received the Black History Distinguished Service Award and another proclamation from the town of Islip.
Town of Islip, too. Plus an education-focused one.
Yes, the NYSU Community Service Award. NYSU being the state teachers union.
So, acknowledgement from peers, government, community safety partners, it paints a picture of broad impact.
It really does. These aren't just certificates on a wall. They represent real recognition from diverse groups.
The profile also gives us a little glimpse into her personal life, connecting it to her work.
It does. It mentions she's a mother. 2 daughters who are doing well academically.
Being a parent of successful students probably gives her a particular insight, doesn't it? Especially given her own strong academic background.
It likely provides a very personal perspective on nurturing achievement. The article also touches on her love for travel.
Oh, where has she been?
It mentions exploring Europe and having plans to visit Africa. Suggests maybe an adventurous spirit, a broad perspective.
Could be. Seeing different cultures, different systems. Maybe that influences her educational ideas.
Possibly. And another key aspect mentioned is her identity.
Yes, it highlights she's a proud Hispanic woman of Puerto Rican ancestry.
And crucially, the article connects this directly to her work.
How so?
It links her background to her commitment to fostering inclusive learning environments, designing experiences that resonate with all students.
So her identity isn't just incidental, it's presented as a source of strength in her work.
Exactly. As a driving force behind her focus on equity, inclusion, sparking curiosity and inspiring students, particularly those who might share similar backgrounds, to reach for their dreams.
The profile calls her a beacon of inspiration.
Yes, not just for students, but for fellow educators too. It positions her as a role model.
So if we try to weave all these different threads together, you have the strong educational foundation, the leadership climbed through different schools like BOCS and Huntington.
Right. Then that incredible personal commitment shown during the pandemic. Those home visits.
Leading to the concrete initiatives at Bay Shore, the academic programs, the news crew, the spelling bee.
Bolstered by those strategic community partnerships with the police and Northwell Health.
All while her own background and identity fuel this drive for inclusion and serve as inspiration. It's quite a picture.
It is. It really paints a picture of leadership that's deeply student-focused, grounded in knowledge, but also driven by passion and community connection.
Dedicated to creating environments where, like you said, all students feel supported, inspired.
It feels very holistic, a model of leading from multiple angles, academic, personal, communal.
Okay, so we've traced her journey, her key roles, the impact at Bayshore, the community links, the awards, and how her personal story fits in.
A really comprehensive look based on this profile. Shows a leader making a real difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Dr. Lisette Lors' profile, reflecting on her whole story, the education, the leadership, those 256 home visits, the school programs, the partnerships, her identity, what does this kind of multifaceted approach tell us about what effective, truly impactful leadership in education looks like today?
That's the big question, isn't it? How might her story make us rethink what it really takes to connect with and uplift not just students, but the whole community around them?